What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel once again. We are back in my shop back here in beautiful Mesa, Arizona. We're back from Glamis, and now it is time to get to work on the old Razzle Dazzle. So as you can see, I've already started. I've got the upper intake manifold off, and I'm going to be replacing the injectors with some new ones, and I'm starting to go through the fuel system right now. Now this thing has an in-tank pump, I believe. That's where the power wires are going down there. It's got a hanger pump. We're going to try to bypass that completely, and we're going to run a Bosch 044. So this thing will support all the power this car's making, no problem, and it'll definitely do a lot better. Now, this car's on E85, so these old fuel lines are just not cutting it. That's probably what's clogging the injectors up. So, like I said, we're going to get this thing taken apart, see what we can do with this top piece. If I can't do anything with this and make a pickup, then we're going to go ahead and block this off, and I'll put traditional fittings in the tank. I'll put a return fitting in the top, and I'll get a feed line off the bottom somewhere. We'll go ahead and TIG weld something in. But I'm going to go ahead and get this apart, see what it looks like inside, and we'll go from there. We're also going to get rid of all these vacuum tees. They had a bunch on the wastegate too, trying to increase the boost. So I'm going to go ahead and put a Mac valve in this thing and wire it up to the AEM. We'll put a whammy button on the steering wheel for him, so he can go from low boost to high boost at the push of a button, or a set of the ECU. So we'll get all that done too and get this thing ready. Okay, well, as you can see, things escalated pretty quickly around here. The floor pan didn't have the correct hole in it to drain this oil. It made a big mess. So, and those floor pans were, as you guys can see, were really, really dirty. I took the front feet wells out, and we're going to do something special for the boys. Got the side panels off, got the floors out, and got the main floor out. I'm going to take all this stuff over to the pressure washer, get it cleaned up, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to coat this stuff. We're not going to do the outsides of the side panels. We want to keep those the way they are. We want to keep this car as the Razzle Dazzle. Even though the paint's old and messed up, it's kind of the look of this car. So we're going to leave it. We're just going to have them coat the inside of the panels because there was nothing on them. I'm going to have them do the floors and the insides of the panels. And then we're going to make a roof for this car too. So I'll make an aluminum roof. As you can see in my shop, I don't have a shear or a brake, but we do have one over at San Limo. So I'm going to take some measurements, and it's pretty square. So pretty easy to make a roof for this car. We'll bead roll it around the edges, and I'll weld some tabs on there and get it put in. I'll also do some coating on that as well. A lot of work, and it escalated quickly, but this will also give me a chance to fix how these seats are mounted. I'm going to talk with Kyle and see if he likes the way they're laid back, or if he wants me to drop them down and mount them like we normally would. Get rid of those seat bars and put some regular flooring and tabs in there. I can actually make some floor panels for this side as well. So I'll talk to him about that. They're getting ready for sick week right now. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. As you can see, everything escalated quickly. I ripped the floors out of this thing. I do have all the parts for the motor. I got new injectors and everything sitting right over there. We're going to probably put that all back together tomorrow. And then we're going to take the air filter out, clean it, and then we're probably going to make an intake for this thing that kind of curves up this way and sits it up here to keeps it out of the sand. So a lot going on here, guys. Razzle Dazzle is definitely under the knife. And I'm probably going to take this car out before I put the panels in and pressure wash the whole thing again, because these tubes under here, and there was some nooks and crannies in here that definitely had some pieces of the field behind PFI crammed in it. So we'll probably pressure wash it, get it all cleaned up. Not to say that it's not going to get thrashed again, but when Kyle comes out to go cruising in the dunes, I want this thing to be nice and clean for him. So yeah, boys, like I said, it escalated quickly, but we're getting it done. We'll get Razzle Dazzle back in the dunes. All right, well, you guys can see I got it all stripped down, and this is kind of what fell out. So we're going to go ahead and vacuum this thing up. All right, well, we took it down to the pressure washer, gunked it, cleaned it, and unfortunately, as you guys can see, there's just some caked in mud there. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the DA. We already started. We're gonna start DAing this whole thing, and we'll get it all knocked down and get it off to the coater. All right, well, you guys saw we had her all stripped down, and I'm going to pressure wash this thing on Sunday when we get back from Glamis from doing that tire testing. We're just going out tomorrow for the day. But I did get a call from the coating people, and let's walk over to the shop, and I'm going to show you guys what the floors look like now. Check that out. What a difference, guys. From that nasty old aluminum to that. I did the entire floor pan, front and back. And these are the front floor pans. Unfortunately, this car is missing the centerpiece that goes in here. We're gonna have to try to make him something new after this trip. I don't have enough time, I don't think, to make some aluminum floors for the center of the car now, but after the trip, we'll get him some made, and we'll get those coated as well. And then I'll try to put like the Boostedbioz logo or something in there for him too. But yeah, these things just came out awesome. Let me lift this one up. Here's the underside. So all this white stuffy, well, those are just holes. Yeah, it's just from my floor. But man, what a difference this made. Holy crap. So I think Kyle will be stoked. And then the cool thing is if the car ever leaks, when you drain the oil in this car, you actually drain it into this pan, and then it comes out these holes. And this way you just get a rag in there and just wipe it right up, and no issues. So our coating guy out here in Arizona is just freaking top notch, man. I did all the floors in my car. It's really cool because they can get really dirty and you can just hose it off, and they come back looking just like that when they're done. So got all that stuff done. I forgot to take a couple pieces over there, like the fuel tank mount. And then as for the side panels, we're gonna go ahead and do vinyl on the inside of the panels here. So we'll get those cleaned up. We'll get the vinyl over here this week and get the interior of this car somewhat back together. When I did pick up the car, the only aluminum pieces I found for this car was this one. And I'm pretty sure from some old pictures I looked at Razzle Dazzle, those were actually like the seat backs. That stuff went in here and down through there. I don't know if it's ever gonna fit back in here again. I may be able to modify it a little bit and try to get it back in there. We'll see. But in the meantime, it's gonna rock without it. So anyways, guys, this thing's just about wrapped. I got all the parts back. I got everything I need to put this car back together. I showed you guys I got new injectors, new top hats. So, and I got all the fuel lines and fittings to redo the fuel system. We're gonna get the tank welded up tomorrow when we're at Glamis. We'll just do it because Joe's out there. And I can TIG weld somewhat, but he's a TIG welder. That's what he does. So I can stick pieces of metal together. He's actually a welder. So I'd much rather have him do a fuel tank than me. And yeah, guys, the old Razzle Dazzle is going to start coming back together this week and be ready for the Glamis trip. What up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We are back out here again in Glamis for a day trip. We're out here with the guys from Rogue Tires, which are right over there. We're going to go meet up with them, but we're going to do some testing on these new paddles again like we were doing last week. And unfortunately, some things happened to my car last week that I didn't show you guys. We had another car in our group break down, and I had to jam back here to the shop to get some parts to fix it in the dunes. And for some reason, the passenger rear caliper decided to just jump right off of my car. Bolt backed out or something, and the caliper broke and just literally fell right off. So I got a new caliper bracket. We keep those in stock here at the shop. I'm gonna get it installed real quick, get the brakes filled up and bled, and then we're gonna get out to testing these tires. So guys, out here at the shop filming, doing some testing with these tires, and brought a special guest with us this week. I'm gonna put her on the spot because she's right here. This is Kirsty from Kirsty's Cars. If you guys haven't checked out her channel yet, I'll put a link in the description below to her channel. You gotta go check it out and see what she does. She does a bunch of cool stuff, restoring her own cars all on her own, doing her own body work. She's out here this week to do a special project with Sherry on her Ghia, on the Carmen Ghia. So these two, you'll see these knuckleheads on her channel this week doing body work on the Ghia. So, all right, we're gonna get back to work on the car. We're gonna get the caliper put on it and get out because it looks like our boys are waiting for us out there. So here we go, guys. All right, guys, so we're out here with the Road Tire crew, and the first one going up the hill now, trying out these new tires. Beautiful. Beautiful. Heck yeah. All right, guys, so we're out here doing it. Got all the Road Tire cars here. Scotty's car's over there. But I want to show you guys Frankie's car. This thing's freaking really cool. And those of you guys that are Honda guys like I am, you'll appreciate this one. So, kind of like the Speed Racer theme. All aluminum dash, some body panels, and big old K24, boys. How much boost?
Right.
How much boost?
11 pounds, 435.
Made 435 on 11 pounds. And we're gonna build another motor for this car real soon. He wants to go bigger, and he's definitely got the transmission to hold the power. So, pretty cool. All right, so I know this video's been all over the place, but we're back from Glamis, back working on the Razzle Dazzle, and as you guys can see, I started getting the floors in. So they look really, really good. I'm really happy with them. What I'm unhappy with is the big gap here in the middle. So I'm gonna take some measurements, and I'm gonna run over to San Limo tomorrow, and I gotta pick up my surprise for that thing. You guys will see that. And I'm gonna take a piece of aluminum, stick it in the shear, and see if I can't cut something. Maybe I'll make a cardboard template here and then run it over to Limo, cut it, and then break it, and then send it, come back, test fit it, and get it over to coating. But I definitely want to do something about the floor here. The floors look really nice. That makes it look really ugly. So got the floors in the front. I got to get the rest of the floor pan put underneath the car. I'm gonna get it moved back into the shop here and get this thing bolted up. I got the frame about as clean as it's gonna get. And man, we're moving forward. This thing's gonna be cool, and Kyle's gonna be stoked. He has no idea I'm doing any of this stuff. He thinks I'm just prepping the motor and doing like health check and stuff and getting it, prepared for a Glamis trip. He has no clue that I'm doing all this interior stuff and the side panels, and he's gonna be freaking stoked. And I did find the spot for this big panel here. It does go behind the seats. We're also going to correct the seat angles. He's got them mounted way up on these old seat sliders. Probably going to take these things completely out and just use regular tabs and get this seat mounted in a spot where I might even put a slider on the driver's side. I don't know. That kind of makes it easier. But I'm going to get them mounted to where they sit straight, and that way anybody can drive the car. Because right now there's not a lot of leg room, as you guys can see from bottom of the steering wheel to the seat. So it does make it a pain in the ass for anyone else to drive the car. Kyle is pretty skinny, so it works for him, but it'll probably be a lot more comfortable too if we get the front down lower, the back up higher, and then he'll have better vision and approach angles too. So we're gonna keep working on this thing till it gets dark out here, and then that'll be the end of this thing for today. I'll get that stuff broke off in the shear tomorrow and wait until you guys see what I got for that thing, because it is friggin' epic, guys. Also, guys, forgot to show you these old school light up switches he had, and the push button start didn't work. The last time I saw it, they were starting with a screwdriver. So I went ahead and got some sand sealed switches. We're gonna get these replaced with nice switches so it works well. And we'll make sure all the lights and everything work. And then we're also gonna look into these gauges because they're pretty water soaked. I definitely wanna just make sure the oil pressure one works. I think the tach's dead, the fuel's dead. Voltage, I think, works. These two are kind of important, but since they're there, we'll make sure they work. I didn't see a water sending unit back on this motor anywhere. Maybe they didn't put it in, but if not, I have one, and we'll get that temperature gauge working also. So, like I said, guys, we'll see you back again tomorrow, and we're gonna jump back on Razzle Dazzle. All right, well, we got the rest of the floors put in underneath the car. Got the full skid plate done. Looks really, really good. I'm totally happy with how it turned out. I'm gonna have to go over there and make this tomorrow. I didn't have time today. And we went ahead and picked up our little surprise for my car. And it is this bad mama jamma right here, boys. This here is a 440 cubic inch LSX motor built by CBM Motorsports. LSX should make 600. I think their specs say it makes 600 horsepower, 600 foot-pounds of torque. It's definitely enough to destroy the 2D that's in my car. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I drove that car right there for 3 years with a 091 bus and an LS motor in it. And it survived, no problems. It's just kind of all on how you drive. Now, I'm not planning on leaving it permanently. I am going to get a sequential for that car. But I am going to go ahead and put this motor in. What I noticed in switching up from 33s to 35s on that car, I did lose a little bit of that torque in third gear. But again, my motor in that car right now is only a 5.3. This is a 7-liter, and it's built. So this thing's going to be going in the car this week, along with finishing this and getting it ready for Glamis. And I got all kinds of stuff going on here, boys. But here's the new power plant for my car. 440 cubic inch CBM built LSX. Okay, so we're back. Like I showed you before, we got the floors in. I went and picked up some gray vinyl for the side panels, and I am going to go ahead and get these side panels cleaned up, laid out. I'll get the vinyl cut, then we'll get the glue, get the vinyl stuck to it, and get them back in the car. This thing's going to look killer. All right, well, I got the first side panel back on. I'll show you guys an up-close view of it. So again, we didn't want to touch anything on the outside. We want to keep this looking like the old Razzle Dazzle. But if you take a look at the inside, that gray vinyl up against that black looks sick. So this thing looks really, really good. It almost looks like there's a Zeus here. It almost like it had an interior panel of some sort at one time, but I'm gonna hide all this wiring as well. I don't know why it goes all the way to the back. I think they tied off here for the whip lights or something, but I'm sure there's something ran back there with the switch panel. We're gonna get into the wiring a little bit later in the week. But in the meantime, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get the other side panel vinyled up, get it back on the car, and get this thing looking normal again. Okay, well, we got the other side done, got the vinyl glued on, got the side panel back on. Now we finally got Razzle Dazzle looking like Razzle Dazzle. She was looking pretty naked there for a while once I got it all stripped down. Like I told you guys earlier, this is all stuff Kyle does not know about. He thinks I'm just prepping the motor and getting it ready for Glamis, but I did a bunch of other stuff to surprise him. Like I said, I'm gonna make that centerpiece I told you guys, but side panels and vinyl look really good, and it makes them pretty dead. So I gotta take some measurements for the roof. I still need to measure for that centerpiece. I gotta get over to the shop tomorrow and do it because if I don't do it, Joe will be gone. After that, he goes to Glamis. And then I've got the fuel tank out also, and something else is I'm gonna fully polish the fuel tank. So it's really, really shiny. It sits here. It's gonna stand out against all this stuff. So it's gonna look really good. In the meantime, that's gonna be it for me out here tonight. And we're gonna push this thing out and make room for another project that's coming in here for the girls to work on. All right, guys, like I said earlier, that's gonna wrap it up for me. And for this video, I know it's been kind of all over the place, back and forth to Glamis and this and that. But as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. And don't forget to check out Kirsty's Cars. I put a link in the description to her channel. They're working on Project Gia right now. Sherry and Kirsty are doing the body work on this thing. They've already gotten this fender way straighter than it was, but they're finding that there is a ton of Bondo in there. So they're working on this. You can watch this video on her channel if you want. Watch the girls doing the body work. But thank you guys again so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.